Good afternoon and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and today my co-host is Sugar the Cat, Sugar the Potato Cat. What are you doing, Sugar? Do you like looking at Menosaur? Huh? Huh? You want to rub your face on Menosaur's face? Silly cat. Yeah, yeah. You know you're in the middle of everything. Yeah, that's Trypticon. Are you interested in Trypticon? No? You're just interested in getting more loves from me. Yeah, Sugar. Sugar cat. Who's a good sugar cat? You're a good sugar cat. Yeah. All right, you mosey on over there. Cool. Hi. For today, we have Transformers Age of the Primes Megatronus, and I'm going to be teaching you verbally how to transform him from his robot mode into his vehicle mode. I have a little extra thing on him right now. It's that the chain with a matrix of leadership that you get with your Galvatron, and I wanted to showcase that you can put it on Megatronus, and it goes around his head pretty well. But Sugar, no, we stop rubbing your face on Menosaur. Why do you like Menosaur so much? All right, so that was just something neat I wanted to showcase to you, and now let's get into this. And at the end of the day's video, I will give you a grade for what I think this transformation is worth. Earlier, I made another video about the same subject, but I went ahead and made that one private because I rewatched it and realized I just didn't like it. I'm gonna try and cut this one down. So let's get into today's video. And first off, you want to remove his accessories. I know he likes to accessorize, but we have to take off his accessories. We can give them to Trypticon over here, because Trypticon can hold his accessories pretty well. That way we don't have to worry about them, losing them or anything like that. They're just going to be up here off to the side, being held by the co-host. There you go. Good job, Trypticon. I love that thing. All right, so first off, what you want to do whenever you're transforming Megatronus here is you want to pull his hand and his arm away from the rest of his arm. How you do that is by finding this part of his forearm that has the siege ports in it that stretches over his hand just a bit. You want to hold that part in one hand. You want to grab his hand with the other hand and pull it forwards. And that is going to pull it down on this bar hinge that is revealed to be the inside of his forearm when the outside of his forearm has these two siege ports. Then, when you unfold it all the way, you want to fold that hand backwards and you want to fold that back into place. Perfect. Now we're going to do the same with the other side. We're going to grab that, pull that forwards, pull that hand, or have that hand go all the way back in there so that it fills in that negative cavity that is revealed, and snap that back into place, and the hands are complete. We're not really going to do much with the arms during this transformation, except one of my favorite steps, which is grab each shoulder in each hand and then pull them apart. I just like that you could do that. It's epic butterflies. I like that he just gets this epic butterfly joint. That's kind of fun. Next step that you want to go ahead and accomplish is grab him in one hand, his rear area in one hand, and then grab this chest piece in the other, just the chest piece. Then pull the chest piece up, and you want to that's going to unhinge it from or unattach it from this interior chest piece. But before we forget, let's go ahead and spin his head 180 degrees to reveal this different part of his head. And I like the back of his head has this really fun feeling vent. It's got a nice vent texture, and I think it's fun that we got the textures on the back of the head there. So we're picking this piece up, and that is going to reveal all these other stuff underneath here, which this is actually part of the arm assembly. So now we're going to reach in here underneath that front panel, and we're going to grab this thing that both of the arms are attached to, and we're going to pull that down, and then pull it down once more to unattach it from an interior hinge. So it's just going to get pulled down all the way, and it's just going to be a flappy doodle hanging out all the way down here. And we are going to get back to it eventually, and we will talk about that in just a few minutes when we work with it. Now, come up here to what we've revealed up here. Come around to his back, and you want to pull these panels off his back. I call them beetle wings because that's kind of what gives me. You know, they're just neat little pieces of armor, and I really like these things. They're pretty versatile. They spin. They're really, really kind of neat. So you want to pull them out on their bar hinges and just kind of let them hang out above the rest of the transformer. Then come over here to the front, and underneath the armor panel, and what is revealed when we pull this piece that the arms are attached to down, is we have these two hollow sections, which aren't really hollow sections. They're actually these treads, and they're going to each be pulled up slightly. So all you have to do is just move them up ever so much, not really much at all, just to almost a 90-degree, and that's going to should disconnect them. If they're not disconnected, move them up just a bit more. We gotta kind of wiggle things around sometimes to get this to work right, but no worries. We just have to. What was that? Okay, that's not you that fell. That's not you that fell. I don't know what that noise was, but I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it at all. Let's continue. Let's go ahead and pull this piece around. There we go. And it got a little caught up there, but we can get that squeezed out. There is a very, very small area where this can fit through. This clearance spot is very minimal. But once you get it past this, everything's going to break up quite nicely. So just get it through that little clearance zone. And so what we're doing is we're picking up that front tread that was folded over, and it's going to connect to this thing on his back, and that's going to rotate away and out and line up on the sides of where his shoulders were originally. So these actually take the spot of where his shoulders were, that now that they've completely spun around. Next step is we want to rotate these little back panels around so that these edges that have the sharp little shark fin edges, they're sticking outwards, and the this thing that feels like a really long connecting pin is facing inwards. And those pieces are going to go there, and there we have it. Now we're going to bring the body piece up, and we're going to rotate it. So this armor panel that was on the front of his chest gets folded up and then rotated. So on either side, you got the breastbone area, and then on either side, you have these little plates, and these fold up to the breastbone so that there's an area where I can put two fingers in. That's going to rotate 180 degrees on its own little bitty hinge, and then that's going to create a little cubby, and that little cubby is where the head and the stuff is going to fit. So that's just our little cubby to hide the head, which didn't really work out too well. Why are you down there, Mr. What did I do? I did something wrong, didn't I? Did I do something wrong, or am I still doing it right? Questions to be asked. There we go. Yeah, so this piece is going to fold down, and it's actually supposed to fold up like that. Pretty sure we're missing something. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I was like, there's something wrong here, and it's this little. There's another connector piece down here that needs to get moved. So you need to feel where this big breastbone piece is. Feel down this bar that's smooth on the opposite side of the head. So there's the side the head's on, and then there's the other side, and then they're going to go up 90 degrees. And then it's going to come down to this little rigid spot that has two little connector ports. And that actually gets hinged upwards. And if you feel inside of this area, you're going to find there are two little bitty pegs. And that area is actually the spot that right above the spot that the shoulders actually go to, with the arms and all that assembly that we just let hang low. That gets connected to that piece there. So we're going to do that right now. Make sure that's connected and spun around. Oh no, what did I do? I broke something. There we go. Come on. Fold backwards. There you go. Yeah. Now that piece is going to connect into its spot. And now we're going to bring these two pieces up on either side. And they're going to connect into their little spots that we pointed out earlier with those little rectangular hinges. And we should have a nice little connection there. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Okay, next step is we're going to come around here to the back of the vehicle mode, and we are going to finish up that. We'll come back to this guy up here in just a bit because we still have more to do with that connection. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and snap a few pieces into place right now. And this is a weird one. These shoulders, let's we'll handle the shoulders real quick because I didn't, that was one of the issues on the last video. I didn't focus enough on this. There are multiple bar hinges. We got one hinge that connects right to the main body, and then another hinge. Then we have another hinge past that hinge, and that is just there are three hinges here, and we've got to fold one of them into the other one, and then it folds down onto the other guy. And you just got to fold them right, and finding the correct way to fold them so that things snap into place. That is what I'm trying to do here. There it goes. Snapped into place, kind of. All right, there we are. Now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and fold, rotate these arms, because this arm assembly has got to get rotated 180 degrees apart from the spot that has all these bar hinges. So we're going to come over here to the arm assembly where these shoulders are attached with their bar hinges and this piece. And when we rotate it around, we'll find there's a cut, perfectly a little rectangular cut in one side of it, and that is going to line up with some other pieces. And the back of it is actually going to allow for things to kind of click into place a little easier. Not going to be the greatest little connection there, but it's going to be pretty good. And I disconnected this thing in the front when I was messing with that. All right, so now we can rotate, hopefully. I didn't do something wrong there. Which, you know, I'm always capable of doing something wrong, that's for sure. And we're going to rotate that piece down, and that piece is around. And no, yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So now that we've gotten this piece to be its correct way, where it just falls flat against the body, it's not really going to clip in yet because we still got to do a few things back here. So first off, before doing anything with the legs, because now we're just going to work on the legs, rotate them at the hip 180 degrees. Okay, so get that hip rotation. Remember, these little skirts on either side are part of that hip rotation, so don't forget about those skirts. Next step is rotate each leg right below the thigh 180 degrees. Then unfold these little clasps that hold the top of the leg to the treads on the back of the leg, and you want to then fold out the treads, fold in the foot, fold the treads back up. And you do that on the other foot. Fold the treads down, fold the foot in, fold the treads up. And that is done. Next step, come down here and do something that makes me just itch on the inside, and that is break these hips. These hips gotta break, yo. Gotta break them. And first off, make sure you fold this little piece, this little waist piece up so it's out of the way. And there it goes. Such a tight connection point there. It makes a crazy click whenever it breaks. But now we've broken both of them. We can then line them up with the little waist pieces, the little skirts. And this is the most frustrating part of this transformation, because since this doesn't really have a solid place to go, it's just going to constantly be flapping up and down while you're rotating things around, and it's going to be popping you in the face. It's going to be slapping you all over the place. It is going to frustrate you. That's why, like, you know, considering this transformer, its fun ability of the transformation is lowered by this big flappy bit that constantly wants to whack into you. It is annoying that you can't just snap that into its proper place and be done with it. Now we're going to make sure that we fold the waist skirt. It's going to go up 90 and kind of fill in a gap as we move the hinge so that the outside of the thigh can go over a little shelf area that's on the front tread. And we're going to copy that on the other side because I know I did not do the best describing that. So we broke the hinge on the hip by taking and pulling the hip away from, well, itself. We had to actually kind of push down on the hip at the same time that we were pulling away from the body, and that has allowed us to take the side of this hip and put it onto the edge of this little lip that sticks out from the front tread. And there's a little bitty lip that you can run your fingernail through, and that is going to mesh with the side of this hip. So make sure that the skirt piece is moved in the appropriate manner. And oh my God, why are you stuck? Thank you. Now we're just going to fold that hip piece around, and hopefully it lines up, and we don't really have to do much. Yeah, once it lines up, it's good. And it will lock into place quite nicely. It's just getting that guy to line up properly can be a little bit of a pain. But once you got it, you got it. You know, it's one of those connections. It may be a little hard to get, but once you got it, it snaps into place, and it's like, I want to stay here. And it does. It wants to stay there. Now, make sure those sides are folded down a bit, and make sure all the wheels are flat. Now, for the back area, this is one of those questions I have for you, my viewers and my listeners. For the back of Megatronus here, the tank mode rear area is made up of these two panels that we unhitched from his rear. Not his rear. We unhitched them from the lower legs to fold the treads out and fold the feet into the treads. But now I don't know what to do with them. It seems like they just rest there, but at the same time, that's a little laziness, and I don't know what did I miss a step there? What's up with that step? Is there more to his rear than I'm getting? Now, that's all I had for that little spot, so let's go ahead and collapse these arms together. And before we collapse them together entirely, we've got to find the Requiem Blaster. Thank you, Mr. Triptychon. Okay, so now that we finished the rear of the vehicle mode and we finished the front, let's make sure we can, shoot. That sucks. I put a little too much force because nothing in this rear is really connected. It's like an H tank. It's like an H tank, but with a little bit of patchwork. So when finishing this out, we're going to fold the shoulders down on those bar hinges that we folded out earlier. But before we do, we want to first come over here to our Requiem Blaster, find that edge that we talked about yesterday where you can actually stretch it out. We're going to make sure it stretches out. Stretch it out as far as it will go, and then make sure it connects because we don't want it being floppy. We don't want a floppy Requiem Blaster, okay? If it doesn't connect, it's going to be floppy, all right? You don't want that. You don't want that at all. That looks bad. So make sure you've connected it, and it won't be floppy. Now, come over here and feel on the inside of the shoulder. You will find there is a siege port, and that siege port will go into the peg on the side of the Requiem Blaster, and then we're going to fold the other shoulder up, just like what we would do with Megatron, with connecting his cannon. And now we're going to finish it out by spinning his forearm around a bit and lining it up. Spinning this forearm around a bit and lining it up. And there. I do wish there were a couple more ports up here at the front to stop that from happening, what I just did, because I squeezed the forearms a little too much. And now I gotta reconnect a lot of things together because it just all fell apart. All fell apart. We've got this though. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. What have we done? What have we done here? Oh, right. It became a floppy Requiem Blaster. We didn't want you to be a floppy one. Thought we fixed that problem. Okay, so we've got the Requiem Blaster refixed, and now we just got to attach that to the shoulder. There it is. And now we attach it to the other port on the opposite side. There we go. Make sure those ports are connected. Make sure these sides are leveled out. There we go. And then it just kind of rests there. That's not the right way. It's supposed to rotate. So rotate around. There we go. That piece is going to connect there, and there, and there you have it. There is Megatronus transformed into his tank mode. His tank mode's kind of neat. Where is that remaining weaponry? I need it from you, Trypticon. Thank you. Give it. Thank you. Let's go ahead and oops. Don't do that. Let's put that back. There we go. Let's go ahead and take his weapons that he comes with, and they're just each going to go onto the to this guy there, and there. Nuts. The Requiem Blaster went saggy again. I think it's just best if you don't stretch it out. You just kind of have it set in there a little bit. Now you can just keep it like that. There we go. It's not as long and intimidating, but it works. It works a little better. A little bit of more of a snub-nosed cannon. But yeah, that is how you transform Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Megatronus from robot mode to vehicle mode. Is it the most fun transformation? Not really, in my opinion. It's not a transformation I really see doing very often. It's not. It's no Gears or Cyclonus. Is it a decently complicated transformation? I'll give it that. But do I just want to pick this thing up off the shelf and transform it for the fun of it? No, not at all. And that's why he's going to, personally speaking, he's getting a B+ from me in the transformation. I wish I could give it more, but the A's and the S's, those ranks go to transformations that I enjoy. This is decently complex. It does scratch the itch, but it's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. It definitely is a decent transformation, though. Don't get me wrong on that one. I'm just looking for fun transformations, and this guy's just a big clunky dude. He does remind me a lot of Transformer Siege transformations, and that is kind of something I enjoy about him. But I have blathered on long enough about the transformation for Megatronus here. I have been Blind Prime. This thing been sneaking around has been Sugar the Potato Cat. Yeah, who's a good potato cat? Who's a good sugar? Yeah, you're a good sugar. Thanks again for watching. Until next Prime, catch tomorrow's video on the vehicle mode, and we'll do a review on his tank mode. Bye-bye for now.